Pokemon Emerald is one of the most beloved games in the franchise, so making a Draft League tournament around it is the next logical step. Now what if I told you this was the biggest Emerald tournament ever with a cash prize of over $1,000? What's going on, my fellows? It's your boy DyeItTight, and today we will be looking at my run in the Emerald Open Tournament. To start, if you don't know what Draft League is, check out my video in the description to get a quick explanation. The Emerald Open Tournament is run by some of my good friends Kaz and Keegan with the help of their dedicated mod team. Totaling 360 participants, this is by far the most people I've seen play in a tournament. Now, the draw to Pokemon Draft League for Generation 3 over something like 7, 8, or 9 is a few different factors. For one, the draft board is way less powerful, with most Pokemon not having a stronger stab move over base 70. Meaning that a lot of things can't power creep and smoke things like you'd normally have them. There's also no Terra preview. Whatever you put in that first slot is the automatic lead, and you won't know what your opponent brought until they send them all out throughout the entire game. And lastly, they still use old school mechanics. There's no physical special split, Steel resists Dark and Ghost, and Explosion is a broken move. And that's just the start of the list. Out of the 45 draft pools, I ended up in pool number 5 with the 6th pick out of 8 players. With the heavy hitters like Metagross and Snorlax gone, I decided to pick up Salamence, a true staple of the meta. It doesn't get Moxie or Roost, and Dragon is special attack only, but it is still a force to be reckoned with. After that, I wanted to get one of my favorite Pokemon to use in Generation 3, Milotic. This thing is an absolute defensive demon with 32 PP for recover and refresh to shed off statuses. Next up, I wanted to get speed since the options were slowly all getting taken. So I got my personal favorite Emerald starter, Sceptile. This speedy guy can set up and hit incredibly hard. Hazards are an important part of the meta. Since there are no rocks, any spike setter is very valuable, so grabbing Fortress here was the best pick. Include its rapid spin ability, it can fully control hazards for me. In a desperate need for a ground type, I grabbed Nidoqueen, who may be a shell of its future self, but it can still hit very hard with its stab moves and be able to defensively handle a plethora of the meta. What team could be complete without the goodest boy Arcanine? He gives the team another Intimidator, a solid speed tier, and some offensive firepower. Trying to prevent Salamence from being the only ground and fighting check, I picked up Mischievous to help patch up some defensive synergy. Being equipped with Mean Look and Perish Song, this Pokemon has the ability to trap and kill anything with the right plays. Finally, rounding out the team, I decided to grab a second Rapid Spinner in Hitmonchan. It isn't the best fighting type, but with Bulk Up, it can surprise teams that don't expect it. With our team finally drafted, it's time to play. I had 4 pool games. If I won 2 of them, I made it to the play-in round to compete to make the playoffs, which is the top 128 players. If I won 3 games, I automatically make it to the top 128. My competition was Woke Fox, Zugaboo Royale, username ABCD, and Vesuvius. To start off early, my opponent Zugaboo ended up not being able to commit to the game, and I was awarded a 1-0 start, giving me a huge advantage. One more win, and I make it to at least the play-in stage. My first real game, I was up against Woke Fox and his team consisting of Zapdos, Celebi, Vaporeon, Flygon, Blaziken, Grumpig, Poliwrath, and Marshtomp. Let's see how the battle goes. So with my designated lead, I elect to lead Mischievous against Flygon. And as he protects, I'm going to get up a Perish Song to try to trap this thing. After that, I'm going to try to get a Mean Look off to try to make sure it is completely secure into it. So now that he's trapped, I try to Perish Song, which he does protect, which means I do have to switch out, which means Mean Look is up. So I'm going to go Milotic on an Ice Beam. Knowing that his turns are slowly counting down, I'm going to anticipate a switch and click Toxic, which I am going to miss, unfortunately. After that, I go Nidoqueen, who is my designated check to this. And I'm just going to be able to get a Rock Slide off and do some damage to Vaporeon. It's not going to be a lot, though. After that, I just get to get my safe switch in to Milotic, and he gives me another Toxic. So he's going to go Celebi as I get a Toxic, which means that once he switches out, Toxic goes away. Now I'm going to go into Arcanine, which is my switch into Celebi, as he is going to click Psychic and do a lot of damage. But this does let me able to switch into Mischievous as he goes Vaporeon, as I'm trying to trap this thing as I Mean Look at first as he Ice Beams. Now I get to Perish Song after my Protect, as I see that he baton passes, which is pretty good because that means if I can trap him, I can have him Parasong or baton pass the Parasong. So as he goes Flygon, I'm going to go into my Lodic and try to get a Toxic off. I miss it on Celebi, which I don't think really matters, as he gets a Psychic now, and I'm not able to switch into this thing well. As he's going to go back into Vaporeon as I click Parasong here. As now I'm going to click Mean Look into his Protect. As very soon he's not going to have a choice. He's going to have to Baton Pass, as he is going to hard switch out because he doesn't want to pass that. So I'm going to Mean Look here, but I am unfortunately forced out. So I have to go Fortress as he clicks Psychic. Now after that, he's going to go hard Flygon as I get up a layer of Spike. This is going to start punishing things switching in. As Flygon gives me my Lodic as he clicks Flamethrower, which is not the end of the world. I easily leftovers that off. As I just click Toxic again, I'm just trying to rack up damage across this team. As I'm going to go back into Fortress as he clicks Psychic, as I'm not really worried about him clicking Hidden Power Fire here. So as he switches out into Flygon, I'm going to click HP Bug. And I'm gonna score myself a crit, which means I can go into my Lodic on a Earthquake and take no damage. As now he's going to go back into Celebi on my Toxic again. I'm just going to keep clicking this Toxic. Next up, I'm going to go back into Fortress. I kind of have my sequences made up for me, as this gives me another HP Bug as he goes Flygon. Or sorry, as I get Spike up there. After that, he's going to click Earthquake, as I do just explode, hoping to kill, but he lives on 2 HP or 2%. As this gives me Salamence, and I'm going to just start trying to break a kill. As he protects here, as I click myself a Hidden Power Flying. Now he can switch out into Vaporeon as I click Hidden Power Flying, which means that he can just pick me off with an Ice Beam, so I am forced to go my Lodic. And which means that things can get back healthy. So what I do is click Surf to make sure Flygon dies. I don't care if Vaporeon gets back up to being healthy. As now at this time I realize that he is Mono Psychic, or I'm assuming he's Mono Psychic on Celebi, so I'm going to get a Toxic off, which then lets me go Arcanine, as I think he's going to switch out as he just clicks Psychic again. Expecting him to switch, I am going to click Protect there, or sorry, Cover to try to get some health back, as this gives me a Toxic on Vaporeon, slowly being able to start whittling this thing down. I also then get a Flamethrower off because I don't have any more coverage, as he clicks Ice Beam as an aggressive play, which is very nice for me. I get to just keep spamming Flamethrower as he keeps taking damage, and now he gets a Baton Pass into Poliwrath, which is pretty scary of a Pokemon. I don't have the best switch-ins to this thing anymore, as I'm just going to toss a Toxic off as he's going to Hypnosis, and I'm a little confused on what this thing's next play is, so I'm going to go my Lodic on a Psychic, and I'm like, okay, I can take this thing down pretty easily, no problem. As he gets to go back into Vaporeon here, as I click Toxic, expecting him to go into Celebi or Zapdos. At this point, I'm just going to recover and stay healthy. I want to make sure that he can't go into Zapdos and try to force a kill. As I just keep spamming Toxic now, there's nothing I can do to really hurt this thing, but this thing can't really hurt me, and it doesn't have Heal Bell, so I eventually just kill this thing. As now I go Mischievous as he goes Poliwrath. Vaporeon's going to come back in as I click Protect, just kind of scouting what he wants to go for. But now at the very least I can get a Parasong up as he wishes. And kind of just trying to keep trapping him. He clicks Protect here on my Parasong again, expecting him to try to hard switch out, trying to catch something. So here I'm going to go into Nidoqueen as I'm expecting a hard switch into Zapdos, which I get the play right, as now he goes into Grunpig on a Rock Slide. And I'm like, okay, what does Grunpig do? As he's going to click Calm Mind here, I'm going to click Earthquake and do 30%, and that is not enough. So he's going to click Psychic. I need to let Nidoqueen go down because I don't beat this thing very well. I needed to get damage on it so it's in Salamence's range, which then he's going to click Rest, which means I'm in trouble, but I do pick up the crit which is very important for us. As they're just mono rest, as I can just keep clicking Earthquake, as now Zapdos comes hard in. I'm like, okay, I can take this thing on. HP Ice is going to get me very low, as Rock Slide is not going to be doing a lot of damage. The Zapdos is very bulky. So we are going to go down to another HP Ice, which means we are in trouble. The Toxic miss earlier was definitely unfortunate because that Zapdos could have been potentially Protect stalled down, but it is what it is. So I'm going to get a Parasong off into a Mean Look, as now I'm forcing him to Baton Pass. You have to get out of here by Baton Passing, which means I can potentially kill a Pokemon or let Vaporeon die. So now, Vaporeon is stuck here, or has to pass a Baton Pass and let something die. So I'm going to go into Milotic, as Baton Pass is going to come out, and go into Grunpig, as Grunpig is going to go down. So with Celebi coming out, I think I've decided that this thing doesn't have a Grass type move, so I can kind of take it on, as he shows Calm Mind, and that is very interesting. He did not show it earlier, so I'm like, nuts. So Mischievous is going to come out and take a lot of damage, which then allows me to click Protect to try to scout whatever move he wants to go for, and then I can just click Parasong again. I'm going to keep trying to trap this Pokemon, but my PP is getting low, so I have to try to Mean Look it first. As you can see, I only have 2 left of Parasong and 2 Mean Looks. So as Celebi comes out, I click Mean Look, and I do get to trap the Celebi, and I'm like, this is fantastic. I Parasong, I'm faster, Psychic is going to come out, and it's not going to be doing a lot of damage. I am definitely going to be able to take down the Celebi, which is very important for this game. Protect is going to come out on a Recover, and now there's only 2 turns left. I do get the double Protect, which is nice, and then it also allows me to go into my Milotic. So I can take any sort of hit. You click Psychic, I live, and now Celebi's dead. So now it is 4 versus 3. As Thunderbolt's going to come out, I'm going to get a Toxic off, which at this point, I think they were rest, so I don't think it ended up mattering. But I would have, if they weren't rest, I would have been able to Toxic stall this thing with like Recovers and kind of switching around. So I go Arcanine here, and Arcanine's going to go down. My play here is to go Mischievous and try to trap. That is my biggest play here. So I click Protect to try to also get some Toxic racking up. So I go Milotic, as this is my chance to potentially get a Recover off, which is really big because then I can take any hit from Zapdos. So I Recover on an Ice Beam, and I'm like, okay, I can beat Vaporeon. It is right there. The end is in sight. I see the end game. Zapdos is going to come out on a Recover, and I'm like, I can live any one hit. This is great. I can take this thing down. Thunderbolt's going to come out, and I am going to get crit, which, thinking about it, I don't think it really ended up mattering, but we'll see. I think it could have potentially forced Zapdos into a rest turn earlier, but we'll see. I get a Perish Trap off, and I can try to now take down this Vaporeon, as I now go Salamence on a Wish. And at this point, I'm desperate to try to make something happen. So I click Protect here. And now he's got to decide if he wants to Baton Pass out or not, or let me get a Dragon Dance. So I'm going to go back into Mischievous. As he clicks Ice Beam, I figured he wanted to kill me. So that works for me, as Vaporeon now finally goes down, and Salamence has a chance to cook. As I click Protect here, he's going to click Thunderbolt. And now it is looking like it's going to be Salamence versus the world, as he is going to get the full para, or the para on my Psychic. But this is where I Protect on a rest, and that's where I don't know how much the Toxic would have mattered. The para was unfortunate, but I also didn't have any Parasongs left, as I go Salamence, and they're just going to kill me with Hidden Power, Sleep Talk, Hidden Power, Ice. So we are unfortunately going to lose that game. And after a loss evening my record, I play against Vesuvius and his team that has Metagross, Dragonite, Donphan, Sceptile, Quillfish, Kangaskhan, Mischievous, and Dugong. Here's how the battle went. So here against Vesuvius, I'm going to lead Salamence, as it did pretty well into anything not named Metagross, which he is going to end up leading, as I go Arcanine on a Toxic. I was expecting more of an Ice Punch or a Rock Slide, so Then I get to pivot into Milotic as he clicks Protect. And I'm like, okay, he seems more defensive. So I'm going to click Surf as he clicks Toxic. And I can easily refresh these off. So I'm just going to click Surf again as he's going to click Meteor Mash. And I'm like, okay, this thing is kind of annoying. This is an annoying set. He's going to get the boost there. This thing is looking kind of dangerous. So I click Refresh. He clicks Meteor Mash. And I'm going to click Surf here, just trying to kill this thing off, as he's just going to click Toxic again, which is fine. I can slowly get back up to health and keep him under 35 so I can pick that kill. So I recover first on a Meteor Mash. And now here I get to click Refresh on a Protect. And now I can just kill this thing and walk away with basically everything being full, as he's going to go hard into Quillfish as I Surf. And this allows me to go back into Salamence because I'm not really expecting him to do anything crazy. So he's going to get up Spikes. And here, from what I can tell, nothing's switching to an Earthquake. So I'm just going to pick that Quillfish as his own Dragonite's going to come out as I go Arcanine to try to intimidate this thing down. As he's just going to Dragon Dance to even that out. Now he is at +0. So he Dragon Dances again, as I am just going to click HP Ice and do a crap ton of damage. I then E-Speed as he lives on 10% as Arcanine's going to go down, unfortunately, which means I have to go into my Salamence. And I live any hit he wants to go for. Dragon is a special move, so I'm not expecting it, as I'm assuming HP flying there. Sceptile's going to come in. I'm like, I don't really know what this thing does. So I'm going to go Fortress as Donphan comes out, which means this is a pretty free Rapid Spin, as he does have Mischievous in the back. So I'm going to go into my Hitmonchan as he clicks Calm Mind, and this thing is kind of a threat. Psychic's going to come off, and I'm going to just barely live, as HP Ghost should put this thing in Salamence HP flying range. So he's going to Psychic again and pick me off and kill me, as I get to go Salamence, and this thing is definitely in range of HP flying. So HP flying is going to come off, and it is going to die. After that, Donphan's going to come in, which allows me to go into my own Mischievous on an HP Ghost, and I'm like, dang, that was a good play. I could have also gone Fortress. So I'm going to click Protect here, as he's just going to click HP Ghost again. And I'm just going to throw off my own HP Ice, as I'm just going to sack this thing off, which will then allow me into my Milotic, and I can just start clicking Surf, honestly, as he's going to go hard Sceptile, as I click Ice Beam and do 57%, which means he's in range again. As he subs, and I'm like, oh, this is fine. I Ice Beam, and he is Pataya Berry, which is boosting Spatak, as Leaf Blade is just going to knock me straight out, and I'm like, uh-oh. Fortress is my only hope here, as HP Fire is going to blow me packing. And then Salamence, unfortunately, is going to fall to a +1 Dragon Claw. So this was a really cool game. Seeing Sceptile move like that was pretty great. It gave me some sets ideas of my own. So yeah, we are going to take another loss and this time to Vesuvius. And with another unfortunate loss, I have one last chance to make it to the next level, or my run ends here. And my final game is against username ABCD, who has Snorlax, Milotic, Registeel, Claydol, Venusaur, Articuno, Typhlosion, and Duskull. Let's see if I'll make it to the next round or if my run ends here. So my designated lead this game is Mischievous, because I really like the ability to try to trap something. And as they do elect to lead Typhlosion, I know I can just scout for what's going to happen, and then I can switch hard out into Milotic, because it can take anything that Typhlosion wants to go for, even Thunder Punch. So after that, they're going to go hard into Venusaur as I click Surf. As now that lets me go Arcanine, but Leech Seed is still super annoying. I don't want Arcanine to keep Leech Seed on it. It's going to keep taking health, so I'm going to double into Mischievous onto my Milotic, hoping to be able to trap something. As I go hard into Snorlax, as I get a Mean Look, which means I get to Perish Song and trap Snorlax. It's the best Pokemon. They're going to click Block, which means I can't switch out, but I'll gladly trade Mischievous for Snorlax. So I try to just click Protect again. There's not much I can really do, as we're just going to double down, but this means annoying Snorlax just gets to die. So I clicked Perish Song in case there's something I randomly forgot about, as we both die. This now has me go into Arcanine on the Milotic, and now I can just get into my own Milotic. My thought was that Arcanine could take advantage of basically anything except Milotic, which then lets me go into my own Milotic. So Venusaur's going to come out on a Toxic. I'm like, man, this thing's annoying. As I go back into Arcanine, as a Leech Seed is just going to come out, this thing just kind of gets to sit and sit and sit. As now here I go Salamence as the Milotic comes out, and I'm like, great. Now I can click Ice Beam, so I switch back into Milotic. And I don't really have the best way of punishing this Venusaur, so I have to get aggressive as I do double into Arcanine here. This allows me to click Sub and kind of just slow down the game and put it back into my favor. So here I'm just going to click Toxic, as Surf's going to come out, and I can really annoy this Milotic if it is not Refresh. So I'm just going to click Sub again and just kind of scout out what's happening as he gets aggressive and clicks Ice Beam, which means I get to stay behind my Sub, which is really nice, as that lets me throw off a Hidden Power Electric. So I get to just take this thing down 1v1 as they now go into Claydol. I think it was HP Ice actually. I can't, or sorry, not Ice, Grass, not Electric. As I click Flamethrower and do a bunch of damage, a Shadow Ball doesn't break my Sub, and I'm like, damn, I can take down this Claydol. So I click Flamethrower, and Shadow Ball is just going to come back out. As my Milotic's going to come in on a Sub again, because I don't think it has Earthquake, and I would gladly take that. So it's going to come back out as I get to click Hidden Power, and this thing is slowly just going to pick this kill. As my Milotic is just getting lower and lower and lower, and now it's on 12%, so I just got to click Hidden Power as this thing dies. So Typhlosion's going to come out, and I'm like, okay, I have my Milotic for this every single day, as it's going to click its own Sub. I'm like, okay. Thunder Punch is going to come out and do 25%. This Milotic is EV to just take everything on. It can take on any Typhlosion you throw at me. So Venusaur is going to come back out as I do go Salamence, expecting him not to want to sack off Typhlosion, as this lets me click Sub on an HP Ice. Like, okay, I will just go into Arcanine if you're going to click HP Ice, as that is what's going to happen. Which means I can just click Flamethrower, and I only do 51%. This is not thick fat, by the way. I don't know what's up with Venusaur. So I'm just going to click Flamethrower again, as it's going to take 29%, just getting it closer and closer in range for Milotic to just be able to pick the kill. As Fire Blast is going to come off, it's going to do a lot of damage now, and by a lot I mean 17. Venusaur is going to come out on another Surf, and I'm not going to lie, this Venusaur is the biggest threat currently on the field. So Arcanine is going to come back out on a Leech Seed, and I know I'm on borrowed time here with Arcanine. So I'm going to try to Flamethrower, and I know I'm not going to be able to pick the kill. Earthquake's going to come out, but this Venusaur is very weakened, which is very important. So Salamence is going to come out. HP Flying kind of just picks one, but I am going to click Earthquake, as it was covering for this exact Registeel. And so that lets me go Hitmonchan and cover if it's like a curse set. I don't know. So I click Brick Break once and I do 53%. As Thunder is going to come out, and I'm like, that is a crazy click. But that allows me to just click Brick Break again, as Claydol is going to come out. Claydol is going to die to Brick Break. Now it is just Typhlosion and Registeel against the world. So I'm going to go Fortress, and I'm just going to sack it off. I am Sturdy, but Sturdy does not work that way in Gen 3, so Fortress is just going to die, as my Milotic's going to come out. And a Thunder Punch is going to do 41%, but I know I can always live 2. I am fine with that. Leftovers always puts me out of range, as Thunder Punch is going to come out, and I'm going to live on 9%. So a little scary, but we're going to get through it. And now it is Registeel versus the world. I just click Recover, as Thunder is going to come out, which is annoying, and he's going to get the Para. But that's fine. He's just going to be able to keep clicking Thunder, as I'm just trying to surf him in range of Earthquake and Brick Break. So Thunder's just going to pick off my Milotic, as we're going to go Hitmonchan and just be able to click Brick Break. And if you live, that's fine, which he is going to live. He is going to click Thunder, but he is going to miss. There would need to be some crazy, unlucky shenanigans for me to lose. So we are going to end up winning that game and ending it 2-2 for pool play. And so by the skin of my teeth, I was able to make it to the next round, the play-in, where if I won, I'd make it to the top 128, one step closer to that grand prize. My next opponent was Zetz, who has the following roster: Tyranitar, Swampert, Blissey, Charizard, Fortress, Jumpluff, Mischievous, and Pikachu. Here's the battle. All right, Here I'm going to lead Arcanine because Intimidate does really well into his team. Swampert never kills me in one, and I have HP Grass to try to take that thing down. So we're going to lead Arcanine against Blissey. And I'm just going to click Toxic to see what he wants to do, as he's going to click Soft Boil to scout what I want to do, which then allows me to go Mischievous, as he does click Toxic here. And I'm like, ah, nuts. As Tyranitar is going to come out, and I'm going to click Toxic of my own. And here I'm going to try to switch out, but Pursuit is just going to knock me clean out, which is bad. Mischievous was my way of trapping Blissey, so not very good. As now Milotic gets to come in and be the star as I double into Hitmonchan, as expecting Blissey to come out. Here, I'm going to click Bulk Up, not expecting him to want to stay in. And Mischievous is going to come out, which I am packing HP Ghost for this specific thing. So I'm going to click HP Ghost, as he's going to live, and he's going to click Psychic and crit me, which is pretty big. It was only going to do like 40%. This lets me switch in, but unfortunately, that is not good. So Pikachu's going to come out, and I did want to keep Hitmonchan because it is a very free Brick Break click. So I go Sceptile, and I take 44%. I take 50% after Sandstorm, so I'm a little scrambling as I click Leaf Blade into Blissey, and it just doesn't do enough. So here I'm going to go into Milotic, and this is my way of beating Blissey now. I have to stall it out. So I'm going to click Toxic here, as he is also going to click Toxic. So we have 2 poison Pokemon. He is going to elect to switch out into the Fortress as I click Refresh, and I can just kind of sit there. Now, one thing is I expect him to want to get Spikes up. So I'm going to go into Arcanine. I don't expect like an Earthquake or an Explosion or a Toxic. This allows me to double into Hitmonchan on an expected Blissey, which then means I can either get a hit off or a spin off. So they're going to go into Fortress as I do just click Brick Break. But I also can just spin to win, but I do click Brick Break. I don't have spin on this set. Actually, I did forget that. So Salamence is going to come out. I am packing the Flamethrower for this exact moment, as Swampert's going to come out. And sorry, it is Fire Blast. I am going to get the burn on the Swampert, which is very nice. I think he's Rust anyway, so it doesn't end up mattering. So Milotic's going to come back out on the Blissey, and I'm like, man, this is turning into a stall fest. So here I am going to fast forward a little bit, as I'm just going to surf. I just got to try to kill this Blissey. If I can kill this Blissey, anything else can kind of whittle down that team, but Blissey just does not die. So this thing is just going to keep soft boiling in my face, as I'm just going to try to recover stall. Like I said, Milotic, one of my favorite Pokemon to use. This thing can take on the world. So I'm just going to keep refreshing. I can stall this thing out. It has 12 Toxics, and I have 29 refreshes. I can easily outlive this thing. I have plenty of recovers. I can easily beat this. I am not worried. So they're going to switch out here into Fortress as I refresh. And I am worried about Boom Fortress. It is looming in the back of my mind. So, but I'm going to surf here. I don't think he booms when he can always live a hit. That wouldn't make any sense. But I go Sceptile here, expecting a boom as they get up their last layer of Spike. Okay. So Blissey's going to come out on a hidden power of Fire. Unfortunate. But now I just get to Brick Break and do 29%. Blissey's so good in Gen 3. But now it's Milotic's turn, and I just got to try to recover up. My goal is to also prevent that Pikachu from coming in, because once that Pikachu comes in, I am in trouble. This thing, I also don't switch into Pikachu now, which is very unfortunate. Pikachu is just going to be able to clean me up if I'm not careful. So I'm just going to keep surfing. It is just going to be a little bit of a stall fest for now, so I'm going to turn on a little bit of Hyper Fast, as we're just going to go back and forth. As I'm going to refresh, they're going to soft boil. We're at a stalemate as they're going to swap out into Swampert. And here, I'm just going to click Surf. I just want to get you in range, as Rest is going to come out. And I'm like, ugh. God, I don't break these Pokemon. Surf is going to come out. Here, just Rest. So I'm just going to keep surfing on another Rest. I'm like, I gotta crit at some point. I have 17 surfs left. I just gotta crit this thing once, and I should be decent, or just put it in HP grass range. But the goal is I gotta weaken Blissey. Blissey is just so strong right now, as he's just gonna go back into it. I'm gonna turn on hyper fast when Blissey's out. As we're gonna trade Toxics, which means I can just refresh. He gets the soft boil. Get the surf, and now I dodge a Toxic, which is nice for me as this thing's just getting lower and lower. Soft boil, but Toxic is just starting to rack up on it, like it's taking 25% now as it switches out into that Swampert. Back into Blissey. As I'm gonna get a Toxic on a soft boil, and again, this thing doesn't have like a 9 soft boils left, so I can infinitely beat this thing slowly. I just gotta prevent that Pikachu from coming in, because as soon as that Pikachu comes in, it's game over. So here, I know he's gonna live one, but I didn't expect him to explode, but he does explode, which now speeds up his endgame. Thunderbolt's gonna come out as I go Salamence, and I think I click Rock Slide here because I didn't want to get static with Brick Break, but Hard Tyranitar means I can just pick this thing with Brick Break. Tyranitar goes down. You're looking pretty good as Blissey comes out, and I'm like, holy shit, this is an Arcanine range, as he's just gonna spam Soft Boil, and here I make a fatal mistake. I click Rock Slide to try to get the flinch, because I think he's gonna PB stall me, as he clicks Ice Beam and gets the kill. Now I'm like, oh shit, it is Arcanine versus the world. So first, I'm gonna click Toxic, trying to prevent him from being able to Soft Boil stall me, because that's what I would expect to have happen. And then I'm gonna click Protect, expecting him to want to get a Toxic of his own off. Now, I have effectively gotten this thing back down to like 70-ish%. So Flamethrower's gonna come off. I am gonna get a crit, bringing it down to 35%. Which means that he is going to take way more Toxic damage now, getting him down to 17%. So the hard out in the Swampert's gonna come as I click Flamethrower. And if he just switched out and like sacked Pikachu here, I think he would have potentially won, but I'm gonna click HP Grass and kill the Swampert. I am teched for this. As now Pikachu's gonna come out and it's if I'm faster and if I'm strong enough to kill Blissey. So I'm gonna click Flamethrower. I am gonna be fast enough, as Blissey's gonna come out on 17%. It all comes down to this, and I'm gonna click Flamethrower, and we're gonna pick up the kill, being able to move on to the playoffs. We're gonna make it to the top 128. And so luckily, with our opponent making a couple mistakes at the end game, we're in the top 28 with less than 10 wins away. I have a real chance to get that prize pool. But our top 128 opponent is Rapmon, who has the best team I've faced in this tournament, of Salamence, Milotic, Machamp, Alakazam, Armaldo, Magneton, Tauros, and Marshtomp. So let's see how this battle went. So here I'm going to lead the Nidoqueen, as he is going to elect to lead Tauros. Nidoqueen could live any hit from Alakazam and be able to kill it in one. So I'm going to double into Milotic, being able to, or switch into Milotic, being able to take on that Tauros, as I thought he was going to switch out, as he does click Ice Beam there, which then is going to have me go Misdreavus on a Surf. I am going to click Sub here on another Surf, and I'm like, okay, I thought he wouldn't let me trap, but I'll Protect here. As Parasong is going to come out on a Surf. He's going to switch out into Magneton as I click Protect here, and it's not going to be able to go off. I just get to go Heart Nidoqueen on a Thunderbolt. And now, Earthquake is kind of a nice click, as I do 30% to Milotic, not the most in the world, but I go into my own Milotic on a Surf. But I don't have Toxic on this set, so it is troublesome because I can't punish this thing very well, which is definitely unfortunate. So there's going to be some stalling. I'm going to put this on fast, as we're just going to go back and forth, tossing off Ice Beams, tossing off Surfs, seeing what we can do to each other. So here is another Ice Beam. So now I go Sceptile on a Surf, and I'm like, great, let me try to put in some damage. As I'm going to click Leaf Blade, and I'm going to pick up the crit, which is going to kill the Milotic. As Armaldo's going to come in, and I'm going to go into Misdreavus. as I do Perish Song, which means that he is forced out at some point. So I'm gonna go my Lodic here, and I'm like, sweet, Surf should deter this thing, which I thought I was gonna be faster. If I knew that, I would have recovered, but unfortunate. If I knew it was gonna be slower, I could have put a little bit more speed in. I think I just need like 30 EV, so that was a misplay. As he is going to get his Salic Berry, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go Nidoqueen. As he is gonna call that and click Earthquake and just pick up my Nidoqueen. And I'm like, damn, that was a good play. Salamence is gonna come out as I get the Intimidate into Arcanine. As he clicks, I get the double Intimidate, so he's gonna click Rock Slide, and Arcanine is gonna take all this damage. And this Armaldo put in the work, but it's dead. So Salamence is gonna come out as I go into my own Salamence on a Dragon Dance, and I'm like, okay, I can pivot between my Intimidate users as I go back into Arcanine, seeing if he has a Dragon move, as he Dragon Dances again. And I don't really care about his speed, but I'm gonna go back into my Salamence as he's going to click Rock Slide here. It's only gonna do 45%, so I'm cool with that. He's going to Dragon Dance on my Toxic, and I'm like, I can Toxic stall this thing down. But first, let me go into Arcanine, as I don't know what he's gonna click here, as Rock Slide's just gonna pick this up, but I can go into my own Salamence if I wanted to, but I'm gonna elect to go into my Lodic because I get a free recover and I wanna keep this thing healthy. He's gonna go into Alakazam here. I'm like, okay, what can this thing do? As it's going to click Calm Mind, and my heart is going to start racing. As he is just Calm Minding, and I will put it on fast now, as he is going to be sub Calm Mind, and this set is going to start going absolutely crazy. Unfortunately, as he gets to keep subbing, he's always going to end up with a sub. As Hyper Fast, I feel like you guys know where this is going. I am watching the $1,000 slip between my fingers as Alakazam is just setting up in my face. There's not much I can do against this thing right here. I need to pull some sort of crit, unfortunately, and the rest of my team is not going to be able to keep up with it, as Alakazam is going to send us home. So a heartbreaking loss to eliminate me from this tournament and from taking home the grand prize. Looking back, I think there was a lot of chances to learn and improve. I think my team was too passive with not being able to hit hard early on. I think due to that, I fell into a defensive build mindset instead of trying to push through my opponent's bulk. So things like Blissey were able to sit on me for a while. My Lodic was able to just gain all of this defensive ground versus me. But this was a great time, and I had so much fun playing in a generation I don't normally play. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and also join my Discord down below if you're interested in joining a tournament in my community. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.